because he's just that valuable.
Yeah, I believe the angle you're looking for is the right angle for Bigatron.
Ooh, these triangle talks. Okay, 15 seconds until we jump into this game, and then the draft is going to start rolling out here. And I'm curious to know what exactly both teams are actually willing to play this time, because honestly, without the pressure of the MPL and only 15k, they can throw everything at the wall to see what sticks.
I feel like only 15k applies to AE, but I'm not sure if it applies the same to Bigatron Alpha. No, last time they met, Bigatron did end up losing 2-3 in the play-ins, right? AE was the one who made it all the way to third place. As you can see that the players on AE, they're not all together, not like Bigatron Alpha. We're all in the same room, as if they're playing the MPL.
Or they're in one gaming house, but in different rooms.
That could be it as well.
It's very hard to tell.
Pi is in the void.
Look, the Pi technically, he is in the void. But again, there's a very big difference between having your communications being done over an application like Discord, or you're just basically separated, maybe on a Google Meet or something like that. But Bigatron, all of their players are in the same place, and there is no delay in that communication no more.
Oh yeah, if you want to prompt your teammate to do something, you want to slap them on the head, you can easily do it. You know? And then we get to look at the bans, Farmis and Diggy, just like Altigo, predicted. The Diggy is taken out. They themselves, they banned the Link, and finally we get to see Minstar on the board. This is a hero that we wanted to see at least show up in the drafting phase, and we get to see that in a tier 1 setting.
And I love the fact that they're banning out just hard counters, and especially when it comes down to dashes. Nobody likes dealing with Mincetar, right? There's so many abilities that are quote-unquote considered a movement dash ability that just doesn't work. Things like Motor Coil, for an example. Things like, what is it? Fredrin, his dash is his most important ability to stick on people is useless.
As if it's not already immobile enough.
So that's why when I'm thinking about the way that Alter Ego is drafting right now, they're looking to take out a lot of utility. They're looking for things that split their composition apart, because I don't see an Estes ban here. Alter Ego could set it up. They could start thinking about, things like Atlas if they want to, and look to pick up things like Valentina if they want. Oh, they get rid of Farsa, so generally they want to make sure that there's limitations on artillery mages.
And Arla instantly gets picked up by Bigatron Alpha. No hesitation at all. And I like the fact you brought up that potential Estes pick again. What are the alternatives?
Well, again, there's not a lot of alternatives that do the work that Estes does, right? Estes has this insane amount of healing compared to some of the other supports, Enchanter-style supports. Things like Rafaela doesn't heal as much. And even so, playmaking capabilities on Rafaela is very, very limited. Florin, I would make an argument for it, but at the top of the list is always Estes. But looking at the way Alter Ego is playing, very, very meta stuff. We're seeing the Joy, love seeing Joy. Look, also the Valentina, just in case Bigatron Alpha have different plans, but I love the response. Kadita, and as well as the Fanny, they're denying good ults.
Yeah, and there's probably the only good ult that you can consider on the Valentina, maybe the Kadita one, but
I think the final slash is not bad.
That as well. Yeah, you can make an argument for that. But Bigatron Alpha, right? Just a lot of those die potentials. Fanny has been a very popular hero overall. Even on our Snapdragon level, we've seen a lot of Fanny, but to see these two teams prioritize different bans in that first phase. We don't get to see Joy at all, but now we get to see Joy on AE side.
Absolutely. And again, it's interesting because based on what you guys have been watching, if you've been keeping up with the Snapdragon Pro Series, you're expected to see junglers get locked in really, really early on. But once you get into these tier 1s, you start thinking about ways around them. Oh, hey, you want to go play Fredrin? No problem. We're going to be locking in the Akai and then look to ban out Martis so you have no means of escape.
I feel like we should start naming draft openings after chess. Look, I learned today there's one called London Bridge opening.
Yes.
I learned there's one something bong. I forgot, but apparently it was for Troll opening.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right. Now, as we see the draft kind of progress, right, I was very worried about things like Wan, for an example. But Alter Ego, again, very smart. They made sure that when they lock in the Joy, Bigatron Alpha has to think twice about what marksman they choose.
Yeah, and Bigatron Alpha also, I think on their side, they are looking for the jungler, right? Jungler and gold laner not selected by Alter Ego just yet. I think we're going down to the wire. I kind of am expecting gold laners to be more prioritized on the side of Alter Ego, at least in terms of bans, right? You have so many mobile heroes on Bigatron Alpha already. Bigatron themselves banning out the Grok.
Personally, I think it's a little tough for Alter Ego to predetermine what their gold laner wants to be, because let's say, if we're thinking about S-tier gold laners, I'm thinking about like Melissa, who comes straight up on the top of the list, right? But what are the counter picks to it? Number one, Kadita, able to kind of go through her ultimate. Fanny as well with the early game pressure, making it really, really difficult for Melissa to kind of get around here. And more importantly, with Arla, who basically just doesn't care. As long as there is some dedicated CC, even if a little bit of CC touches Melissa, it's more than enough to enable Arla to use the Vengeance to get on top of her, despite the ultimate. Because again, the animation doesn't get cancelled. We don't know why it's like that. It just is.
His spite for you is stronger than your ult.
That's the thing. See, here's the thing. There's a lot of inconsistencies with the game that annoy me. It's like you have Kufra, who's like, I'm the anti-dash guy, right? And then there's Mincetar, which is a bit redundant. And then you realize, oh wait, abilities can technically go through Kufra. Vengeance coming in from this Arla being one of them. Why is that the case? I don't know, man. That's just the game.
I think in the future, we're probably going to get more mechanics that just completely ignore everything. Like,
the mechanic that just completely doesn't
like,
let you play
King's
the game.
calling? Well, sure.
You know what? They should create a new hero that basically jumbles up your controls. That would really mess with people. I'd be very frustrated with
it should be an ultimate, right? So I've thought of a name. I'm not sure if it's in one of the spells in Mobile Legends already.
Hit me with it.
Okay, it's called Switcheroo.
Switcheroo? Okay. I actually like that. That sounds very MLBB, very simplistic. I like where you're going with. But let's jump back into the draft here, because now we see the gold laners that were banned out were Wan and Claude, Melissa, and as well as that Grok. And the instant response from Alter Ego is, I want a winning lane. Give me Brody. And Bigatron Alpha is like, okay, you win that lane. I can't do much about it, but I can make it very difficult for you to play this Joy. I'm going to lock in the Kaja. I'm going to make sure that your tanks are basically nothing to me. I'm also going to lock in the carry.
And this is one of those few scenarios where when we look back at our Snapdragon Pro Series itself, right? If a team wants to Joy Kaja, it's the first one to get banned out.
Oh yeah.
So Alter Ego, they picked the Joy knowing that Kaja is gonna get led through. And I just love to see kind of the adaptation of Alter Ego, right? Like, there are too many problems, but we need solutions for the biggest ones. And the Hilda comes through, we've never seen this before. Yep,
I love it. I love the ideas coming out from the side of Alter Ego. They understand that they have a lot of lane pressure, a lot of lane dominance, especially towards the gold side of the map. So if Selly Boy can generally hover around that side, it means that we're going to see that Nino is going to have a very clean laning phase. And if it also bleeds into the jungle, man, Fanny's purple buff is not exactly very safe for someone like Super Ken to just hover around when Hilda is constantly invading you.
Yeah, and I think that's what I had in mind as well, right? You see the Hilda pick one of our good friends, Justin. That guy loves playing Hilda, and that's how I learned it. You pick Hilda into Fanny players and you just harass her for days.
Yep, it's not fun to deal with, especially if you're a purple buff reliant type hero. Now, this pro team Showmatch is going to be Bigatron Alpha versus Alter Ego. Now is your time. Send your predictions in while you still can.
15,000 on the line, and winner takes all. You can lose this 2-3 and you will walk away with nothing. And we all know for Alter Ego, at least they want to fund their holidays. BTR doesn't seem like they're on holidays, so they probably don't need it as much. It's just a wild guess.
It's a wild guess for sure. They probably had priorities set, but immediately the game has already begun. And Bigatron, they're making sure that they're playing safe around this purple side, knowing that Rossi is going to show up.
Yeah, you have Key just protecting it, so purple buff goes over to the Fanny. That's the start that you at least want, or bare minimum, right? You keep this Hilda away from the jungler as much as possible. How persistent can we expect Rossi to be with these invades? You also see Pai showing up as well. It's going to be a 2 versus 3 situation in the jungle, but Bigatron Alpha are more than ready to receive the hit. First blood for the Fanny, and they are not done just yet. Zorizo is going to try, but Alter Ego gets away.
Good cancel coming in from Selly Boy to try and stop that combination, but again, big battle spells have been used. Rossi already used his sprint, Pai as well using Vengeance. It's not like he's going to need it in the next 46 seconds or so. Oh, but you don't want to see that. Selly Boy instantly getting taken out.
And that means his Fanny, Super Ken, already level 4, is going to go for that reset. And this is where the pressure that you discussed early on is going to start showing, right? You have the side lanes. Yeah, Brody's going to have a decent laning phase, but you have a Fanny who is already ahead of her counterparts, going for the invade. This is something that you want to see from Alter Ego, not from Bigatron Alpha. And Selly Boy is taking a heap of damage. Super Ken's going to get jumped on by 2 extra members of Alter Ego, looking to shut him down, and they will.
mid-prio, guys, mid-prio. And while Bigatron Alpha is making a correct move with Ken walking into the enemy jungle to look to steal away at least one camp from Selly Boy, which he does succeed in doing, right? You can tell his retribution is on 12 seconds. It doesn't matter because you can kind of drag out the game enough, especially during these neutral objectives, because Alter Ego themselves don't exactly have priority on this bot side.
And we also saw the live poll just now. 72% of you guys want Alter Ego to have a better holiday than they already have. Bottom side, Petrify, and the Vengeance not enough to keep Pi alive. The purple buff, I believe, got secured by Super Ken eventually. We did see Rossi attempting an invade. It's not on Rossi, so Super Ken did get it at least. Now Alter Ego ready to jostle for turtle control.
Beautifully done by Bigatron. The fact that they showed Kadita first, and then Chorizo just has to wait patiently, doesn't even have to use any of his resources to secure this kill once Pi disrespects him. But topside,
Just kidnap Nino. Not too secure of a laning phase now for Alter Ego, but now they will have prompted to do something. Try to take the turtle away. No contest. Chorizo, he's going to try, but you have Pi jumping straight onto him, and Super Ken, he's going to show up. Pi has no vengeance this time, and I don't think Rossi can save him in time. Super Ken getting the third kill for this Fanny, and Rossi, he's not going to be able to stand this at all. Does receive help from Udo. Super Ken backs off for now, but Udo, teaming in once more, not going to get it.
Yep, he does have that Divine Judgment at the end of the day, so that's going to be a big threat towards Fanny's side. But again, both of these teams, you can tell that they don't want to waste time at all. If somebody's missing a resource, they are vulnerable. If somebody's playing on one side of the map, the other side is vulnerable to be attacked.
And Selly Boy just gets jumped on by Super Ken instantly, but manages to duck right under the tier 1. Now Rossi is going to show up as well. Super Ken this time learning his lesson, not going to commit, but you have the flicker forward from Nino, and they get the kidnap onto Kaja. Key goes down.
Beautifully done. That flicker in, especially to get the initial stun off of Key to ensure that he doesn't do anything else to allow his team to walk up. It means that they're going to get this purple buff, and Super Ken, that was the worst outcome possible.
And Super Ken this time forced away. I believe he got the purple buff regardless.
Okay.
And even of his life, Rossi might end up getting traded back. Trying to at least take him down, but he does have that movement speed and a shield. Unfortunately, you can't say the same for Pi, who did put his body in front. Also able to run away, but Super Ken already reset it, has that fresh purple buff, and he's ready to come in and clean things up. The janitorial crew is here, and a killing spree for Super Ken.
I love it. These are tier 1 teams, but they're playing the very classic Indonesian style. They want to fight. They want to abuse the fact that you're missing abilities, you're missing a spell, you're missing a battle spell. Any resources that is long gone, you get punished.
And Selly Boy, he is very deep. No kills for him, but Super Ken, he's thinking about it right under tier 1. Not a problem.
Ooh, so good right now. Bigatron Alpha just not missing a beat. Even though Alter Ego are falling behind by 2.4k, it's not the end of the world, especially in this early game, but this neutral objective is going to be pretty important for them.
And so far, you know, Alter Ego, they've gone out to a pretty slow start. Not stealing any purple buff away from the Fanny. The only objective they've ever gotten is the first turtle. Super Ken, he is starting to get out of control. 7-1 on this Fanny. And Rossi clearly in holiday mood.
Yeah, Pi is really disrespecting him. He thought that the vengeance should have been enough, but it really isn't. Oh god!
And he just disappears. Rossi gets kidnapped and destroyed. Now Bigatron Alpha just has more members around a turtle. Super Ken will just collect his purple buff. No one can contest him at this point. Selly Boy is also having a really rough time trying to make these early plays as the Akai.
Yeah, and I mean, the early game definitely fell into the hands of Bigatron. They have full control over the tempo. It's tough.
Alter Ego, they will try nonetheless though, at least try and steal the turtle, but Super Ken just quick on the finger with his retribution.
Oh!
The bare minimum! They get rid of Key, but that's the consolation prize for Alter Ego.
Okay, that's actually not bad for Alter Ego. They actually get to trade up for the neutral objective with or without the turtle. It doesn't really matter because Alter Ego is behind on EXP, but now, oh god.
Oh, they're going to try to go onto Nino. Chorizo is going to just dash onto him, trade this 1-for-1, but the kill did go over to Saken, and that's who you want the kill to be on.
No, the poor man ran out of mana before the last vengeance, the most important vengeance to finish off the kill. It could have been a clean getaway, but unfortunately, resources are limited.
And Pai's health pool is also a bit limited.
Well, at least he didn't use vengeance, so if it does happen again, he can defend himself.
That is true. You can't say safe for Rossi though. He's having way too much fun. Saki's just gonna flicker for him. Yeah, that's more than enough damage.
Oh, beautifully done coming up from Saken. But it's not over yet, because as of yet, Alter Ego, they don't mind waiting a couple of levels before something happens later in the game. Like, when it comes down to just, you know, front to backs, they don't exactly do too well. So Alter Ego ideally want to go for that heavy dive, jump towards Saken's side, maybe give a couple of items until they can start protecting themselves against Super Can. Oh my god, he dies from that!
Yeah, he eats the entire ultimate from Moreno also. When this game drags on, is Alter Ego still going to be able to keep up with the scaling? I
mean, not if the snowball, well, I wouldn't even say snowball at this point. This avalanche coming in from Bigatron Alpha continues to go. The momentum on their side is huge, and not to mention that Super Can basically can do no wrong in this early phase. Even the people who are supposed to technically withstand the damage, like Selly Boy, can't take it.
And they just flicker this Divine Judgment onto Udyr. That's Valentina, by the way. That's the guy with the most resource. It's 3-1.
It's not easy. Yeah. It really isn't easy. Expect to see a kill every time Key gets his ultimate back up, and especially when he has Flicker, it's even more a guarantee. But let's see how this is going to play out.
The turtle is up already, and this time Alter Ego a bit more neutered. Not trying to contest as much. Pi doing his best to really try to run that distraction, but he's forced to use the fence very early on. And Alter Ego, they just don't have enough to break right through Bigatron.
Yeah, Bigatron continues to control that tempo. They got a free resource out of Alter Ego. They don't mind just holding this Lord hostage for as long as possible because they have so much pressure on the side lanes.
Yeah, almost a 5,000 goal advantage for Bigatron Alpha. It's 8.5 minutes in. And Alter Ego, they will start working on that Lord. Selly Boy chipping the health bar away, but to have this concealed play, looking for Udyr again, they will just drag him back. He does not stand a chance! And there's even a 2-man knockup plus Petrify for Moreno. Days could not have gone any worse for Alter Ego, but they have committed so much onto the Lord. The least they could do is for Silent Boy to secure this objective. He's going to use that heavy spin, try to knock Super Ken away. They need this Lord for themselves, and they will get it. At least they get the objective. And Nino, he got baited forward, forced to flicker, but he's gone. A full team wipe for Lord.
That's not the most ideal situation in the world. Bigatron don't mind it, and they can actually deal with the Lord-empowered minions that are coming up in about 10 seconds. But that's not what you wanted to see out of Alter Ego. You wanted them to steal the Lord and then back away, cut your losses, because we're looking at the damage leaderboard so far. Super Ken completely jumping, leapfrogging ahead of everybody else.
And the second closest is Nino, and he's 23,000 in terms of damage behind. If we look at the items as well, right, the majority of the money are on the two most important members, on the Fanny and on the carry, who is 5MO by the way, and I believe they also kidnapped someone off screen. Pi, he's just trying to push Saken back. If Selly Boy pinning Key into a wall, but he just easily gets away. And Pi, he's like, I've had enough of this. I'm going to commit forward. They all flickered just for the carry, but the carry still gets the trade back. Alter Ego trying to escort this Lord into the inhibitor. Key gets away with 0 health.
Wow, they're actually getting away with so much more. Where are the rest of the members? It looks like, you know, oh wait, hold on. They've actually got a hell of a flank right now.
Yeah, Moreno very patient, but he's gonna get spotted out instantly. Moreno is just gonna commit and get 2-man Petrify. Damage not really there. Bigatron Alpha, they will finally kill the Lord, but Alter Ego actually got away with an inhibitor.
Wow, they got away with so much there. And now Alter Ego are back in a position where they can actually recover from the damage of the early game. I mean, it's 19-5 right now, but Alter Ego are feeling a little bit more comfortable with their power spike in about 3,000 gold and 80 minutes on the clock to reach it. I think that's more than enough for Alter Ego.
It's 19-5, but you look at the goal advantage, it's not that much, right? Only 3.7 for Bigatron Alpha, and now Udyr is like, taste this Divine Judgment. Get rid of Key, they get the heavy spin, trying to knock Moreno back, and Selly Boy, he's on the run. Super Ken on his back, takes him out. Legendary Fanny. All that considered, when we look at the goal itself, you can see that, you know, Brody, he's actually not too far behind the Fanny.
He has been farming relatively comfortably. Like, I wouldn't have expected Nino 1 in 3 to be doing this all right in game.
Oh, Pi, he's trying to outrun the cables, but nah, Fanny's faster.
Fanny just has way too much. 11, 1, and 1. I mean, he's just making his KDA aesthetically pleasing.
No, I feel like if you don't have to worry about hitting the beat while trying to dash away, there'll be less a thing to worry about.
I suppose. That's one way to think about it, but again, it's just...
Yeah, he's not happy about that.
He is not.
Oh boy, and they're going to lose Udyr again. Super Ken, he's just going to continue going. All these all chats, you know, it's not gonna face Super Ken. You know, no Fanny player has ever been faced by an all chat. In fact, that is where they thrive in. And Silly Boy also goes down. Sakin picks that one up. Alter Ego looking to inevitably get wiped. They still can't get rid of Zorizo. This guy has been dashing for way too long.
What?
There's no way he gets away, right? Well, they find him finally, and Pi gets to run away, but not Rassi. So it's a 4-for-1 in favor of Bigatron.
Yep, finally, Bigatron find the momentum back, taking out 4 members for only 1. This is the position, and these are the trades that Bigatron have been looking for all game. Trading 50-50 against an opponent who is down on gold is the worst feeling in the world, because you pretty much guaranteed that you had a lead against them. Maybe if it's 1 member, but your whole team shouldn't be trading 1-for-1 in these positions.
Pi at least trying to run down Moreno, but he's going to run into the rest of Bigatron Alpha. They're just going to kidnap him. Again, that's not the vengeance though.
It's a little unlucky because, especially for Kadita, having none of her abilities really hurt her in that position. No Breath of the Ocean, doesn't even have her ultimate as well. The most she has is the Ocean Oddity, and that doesn't deal enough burst damage to start taking out people like Pi. Maybe if you had Super Ken, but then again, he just wasn't there at the right place at the right time.
But at least Bigatron Alpha, they have the Lord right now. They are looking for Zorizo and Silly Boy straight in with the heavy spin. Yeah, just pinning him onto a wall, nailing him like a portrait. And well, that one goes over to Rassi.
Now, this is what we call an off-tempo play. You would have expected Alter Ego to be this eager to get a pick, because now, with that pick, it's a 4v5, and they have high ground.
And Pi, he's just going to try and hold the fort for as long as possible. No vengeance available means not much resistance, endurance for him, but the rest of Alter Ego able to recall and tie Rassi. He's just going to jump forward and get absolutely shredded. But what Alter Ego was looking for is to take care of the Lord. They've done that, and now they need to get the rest of the team away. Sally Boy certainly will go down, and Udu will have to recharge his health bar and bang the fountain, but Alter Ego, they held back Bigatron for now.
A good idea for the off-tempo play, but unfortunately the resources utilized down on that bot side hurt them here on this high ground defense.
Udu, he's gonna flicker forward, and you also have Pi running on Moreno. Alter Ego, all things considered, only losing an inhib. That's not too bad in their position.
I mean, we say that it's not that bad, right? Only an inhib, they lose 2 members at the same time. Bigatron Alpha now have developed a 9k gold lead, and in most positions, a 9k gold lead is basically checkmate in chess terms, right? Like Alter Ego, it's going to be really difficult for them to max out their items here, with they're only dependent towards the later stages of the game, being this Valentina, who is naturally squishy, as well as having that Clock of Destinies to help her scale, plus the help of this Brody. But Brody's not using Weapon Master, and the fact that he's building hyper defensive, knowing how ahead Super Ken is.
Yeah, has the Rose Gold Media as well. Just Alter Ego trying to forced to play turtle. They're gonna try to Rassi, just able to jump on key. Sally Boy not looking too healthy this time, able to barely get away, and Rassi also on the run as well. But Super Ken, he's just gonna fully commit, get rid of Sally Boy, and Rassi gets dragged back. Double for Super Ken.
Super Ken is just way too fat here. He's got so much gold pumped in his veins right now, and if only there were like, if there was only ways to know how he uses his cables, because I wish there was a cam to show his cables.
Well, we probably want to wait for it. Maybe the next game if he gets Fanny, Bigatron Alpha gets a quick game 1, 15 minutes, but it's 30-8.
One day we'll see the input cam. We would need to see his combos overall. A sharp Fanny player, knows how to go around his corners, and with a fat lead in the early game, Bigatron Alpha secure game number 1. GG well played to Bigatron as they take down Alter Ego in this best of 5.
Just an appetizer for how the Tier 1 teams really perform, right? What a showing for Bigatron Alpha with such a strong start as well. And the Fanny, a 3rd pick in the first phase, overall a complete snowball. Alter Ego, right? I think despite them losing, there were some good